Jump in. Let's go.
8.
Yeah. Chapter 8.
The cold, hard truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carry her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
We're gonna freeze to death? Cool. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? He's just so concerned. Did he pee or throw up? Like what? This place sucks. Why would anyone want to blow something up out here? Only way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Numcreed. We're gonna freeze to death, though. I think he went this way. This looks like where our house should be. So what's up here? This is where his grave would be? Right? I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. This is where Beacon Pines would be? Yeah? This looks familiar, yeah? Maybe if we can clear off the snow? No time. Numcreed's getting away. It's Beacon Pines. What? What is happening? Are we time traveling? Oh, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed in all things on Beacon Pines, but doesn't this look like some sort of frozen replica town? Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. It's Mr. Numcreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. The species only live in sub-zero temperatures? Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. Final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me in there. You get used to it, we should keep moving. Alright, well, when you throw literally something like this, it's like, what in the world? I guess because there's multiple timelines. Is this one of our past timelines?
The corner to the frozen town square. They spotted Mr. Numcreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Gran, don't do it. You're gonna freeze us all.
Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Numcreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Yeah. Here we go. This is why it goes boom. Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. You drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this whole town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Conspirators? Ran? What's happening? Luca and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Numcreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Don't you grab me! Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran. His voice
She's not my
rolled
real
louder.
grandma, though. Is she? You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Stand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Bolt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath.
We're still gonna die.
The
She's gonna freeze
moments
this.
on a knife's edge.
Oh my god, don't you dare give me a choice.
Emotions and memories. Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to weep is all I have? Oh no! Alright.
And in the stillness, he began to weep.
I only have one choice, which means it's the wrong choice.
It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow.
But she's gonna drop it, we're all gonna freeze, and then we have to restart. I see.
Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This all makes sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll all see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness.
To the ice we go.
She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation.
Oh boy.
The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Yep, end of the story. Once again, we must go back to the beginning. We're almost there. Keep getting closer and closer.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror.
Yep.
There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant.
Sad.
That is where they remain, fixed in place.
Forever.
And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene.
Again.
In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end.
Alright.
Well,
Let's see.
that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from.
Yes.
Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
What? Fire and ice. Okay. So I only have Weep, which means I cannot go on this route anymore because I need something else. Which means I have to do the other route, and the only thing we have right now is Flight. So, Flight it is. So we're back to these guys attacking the treehouse, and we're gonna run this
He drew
time.
himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
Yep.
He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches.
Alright, let's see where this takes us.
He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See you, jerks. Bye. Fine. We know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels. We survive another chapter, though.
As they sprinted through the thicket, the branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was
ice.
Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost them. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Find a way home. We are home. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Do we report this to Mr. Kerr? Still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. Okay, so we're in the source now. Or headed towards it. This is Beacon Pines, yeah? What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Wheatwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1. Snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. So do we need to find something to get rid of the snow? Maybe? Alright. The situation says these? Find it best to chuck stuff first and ask questions second. Okay. Oh. How was I supposed to know I could make snowballs? Yeah, it is Beacon Pines. Okay.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
Is this Beacon Pines 2.0? This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? Guess we got turned around? Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell's going on? We're gonna get some answers. Eventually, yeah. Let's keep moving. Just keep swimming, swimming. Yeah, this is definitely like... Was this like the original town or something? Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Oh, in this route we do have walkie-talkies. The Bonzo Kerr. What's happened to you out in the woods?
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful. Oh no. No, don't do this.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run. Whatever you want to call it. So this... I don't know, this is what's going to happen to Beacon Pines 2.0, I guess.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing but more snow. There must be an explanation for this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic pink atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know all that. You can't just quit. Do what you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry.
No.
Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It's kind of his fault, yeah, because he splashed him. It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
I have to get something from this route, so we can't die here. Come on. Get up. The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Literally froze up? Yeah. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what the gunk would do. You didn't, right? No, of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? It was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's just how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, you goody types take forever to understand this is a very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things just to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Oh, he's lonely. Okay. Laughing and calling the dinky little tree of mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Oh. Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet and she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with his sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. She ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
It must be raining out here. I don't think it's raining at all. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try and get some— Not out in the cold, you're gonna freeze to death. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get it to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly
Oh no,
drift
we're
shut.
dead because of the cold. Luca? No. Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to the worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't that half bad. Goodbye, world, I guess.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song.
Parents are dead, so...
A voice behind Luca spoke. This is how you remember them, huh? Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes.
Yeah.
Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that
What?
I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you?
Remember what?
Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see.
What?
Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went.
Huh?
He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting.
Okay.
Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you.
Oh, he wanted to save the people so bad.
Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs.
Oh.
Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere.
Oh yeah, forever, buddy. Forever.
Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in.
Oh, the worst lie in existence. Okay.
Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder.
Did he really?
Promise.
Yep, he promised. Oh god.
With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
Alrighty. Oh.
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall.
Alright.
It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head.
What?
From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Okay. Get hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Who is this? So what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, is it, Iggy? We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me? You...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Hey, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. We are kind of out in the middle of a frozen ice storm, but alright. I mean, let's just all calm down. Who are you? A friend. An overseer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great! How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make a little gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So do you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, we must know where they are. Alright. Alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
One way or another. Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Why would you do that for free? Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
What the hell is happening? Okay, open
For
them.
a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood? Or we teleported to some alternative universe? Or this is just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons? But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, this reality is much less fanciful. Give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines. What? The original. You both grew up here. But the town you've called home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'll need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat will require immense labor power. That which could be moved, would be moved. That which could not, would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You think so, unless that auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, I can leave it to the most miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. You're saying someone has made an entirely new town and moved us all? And no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why do you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home.
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out.
Iggy? It's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood. I don't like that.
Chapter 6.
That doesn't seem good.
The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived.
Thanks so much. This Nat is great.
He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past
Who
few
are
days
you?
became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest.
Yes?
But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know.
Yeah, this is your dad's grave.
Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow.
But why this?
His numb hands hit something hard. A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here alone in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. We ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply. Just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
Good.